Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Conversations with Yoders Farm. I'm Eldon, and Lowell is joining me again today for a podcast episode. Lowell, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Eldon. It's always great to be here.
We should probably come up with something new to say at the beginning of our podcast, but anyway, we've got a little over 2 months of catch up to do on this episode, so probably just...
So buckle in and enjoy the ride. And this one's going to be weird because this is take 2.
Yeah, just grab a cup of coffee, some cookies, and we'll get rolling here. So what have we been up to the last couple of months?
Coming at you live with the industry standards for volume at whatever -17.
-19 LUFS.
-19, yeah, that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we've had strawberry season, essentially, since we last recorded.
Yeah.
I guess that's why we didn't record probably for 2 months.
Yeah, generally.
It's because we were having strawberry season.
I think March 18th was our last episode, and we were talking about preparations for the season, and I forget exactly how things were looking then, but...
So I guess we'll try to just go back and reconstruct a little bit and give our perspective on the spring and what happened and if we learned anything or not and so forth. So yeah, I think things were pushing fairly rapidly, but then we kind of went into a slowdown. I think the end of March was chillier, and that carried into April.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, standard strawberry prep kind of stuff.
Couple late, really cool spells.
Yeah, we had one especially late,
Yeah.
like in the end of April.
Right at the end of April.
I'm thinking the 20s,
Yeah.
where we row covered for several nights. I think we row covered. This was actually a pretty good year for frost protection. We were on and off a number of times, but I mean, you always are with the row covers. It's just the nature of growing strawberries on black plastic. It's going to push the crop. You're going to bloom before it is.
Before you're ready for it.
Well,
No.
Before it's ready to warm up. So if you're going to grow plasticulture strawberries, you're just going to have to commit to protecting the blooms.
Yeah.
No two ways about it. But this year we got off pretty, I wouldn't say easily.
Yeah.
But compared to some years,
We didn't have a lot of like 20s in February and March. Some things like that. And then late in the season, we had that kind of one really.
Yeah, so I think we were on for several days, and that's if you're not on and off, if you can go on and leave them on for a few days and then get them off and so forth. So anyway, we did that, got covers out of the field right after that last event, which I'm pretty sure is right around the 23rd or something.
Yeah.
So we usually, when our covers are deployed, to say like they're totally out in the field, it's getting them off and rolled up at the same time is about as easy then as any time the covers are completely dry.
Mm-hmm.
So we took advantage of that, got them out of the field, and hoped that we wouldn't have to put them back out, which that was the case. Though we did actually get a couple chilly nights, like borderline
30s.
Flirting with frost even on into May.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, at that point, you don't have as many blooms. You have more set green fruit, so I guess it's not quite as critical.
Yeah. Still don't want them freezing, but...
Right. So they were borderline enough. We were fine not to put the covers back out. So it's been... we opened the Pick Your and Patch on May the 1st.
That's correct.
Which is 4 weeks ago today, I believe.
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah, it is.
This is our 5th Saturday, right?
Yep.
We opened on Saturday.
So we're beginning our 5th week. And so that's about right on time, about normal.
Yeah.
It's been a good year. Let's talk about the weather. The weather's been, for strawberry farming purposes, has been fairly spectacular.
Fairly ideal, yeah.
We opened on a Saturday, then we were closed that Sunday. We had rain on Monday.
I don't remember specifically, but
yeah, I do.
Okay.
Pretty sure we had rain that Monday, and then it kind of cleared out. And that was the last rain we had until the beginning of this week. So basically 3.5 weeks, pretty much
no
rain free
Mm-hmm.
through the heart of your strawberry season. And for strawberries, that's just ideal.
If you could line it up like that,
we were getting dry.
Mm-hmm.
Like our dust was blowing in our parking lot and on the lane, and we were trying to wet the lane down to keep the dust down, etc. So it was time for a shower and so forth. But so
it's pretty cool those first
the first
weeks.
Couple weeks were cool. Then we did get some warmer days and so forth, but the nights stayed cool.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, ripening was an issue,
Mm-hmm.
especially the first couple of weeks. We got picked out a couple times for whatever reason. We had large crowds. A couple Saturdays were really, really busy, and it just got really tough to find berries out there. And then the cooler nights, things weren't turning quite as rapidly as sometimes. But there again, cool nights. I mean, this mimics California, and many of the strawberry varieties that we grow, like 3 or so out of the ones we grow were developed in California. So if you can mimic a California environment in Virginia, then they're probably going to do fairly well.
Minus the high taxes.
Yeah. I thought this wasn't a political show. Oh, goodness.
It isn't, sorry.
So, from weather standpoint, it's been a great year. From a strawberry perspective, I don't think it's our best production year, especially in the pick your own patch. For whatever reason, it didn't seem like after the first week we had outstanding sized berries, which you always get. The first ones are they're called the king berries. They are some of the hand anyways.
Yeah.
You have king berries on the hand.
Okay.
They're big, and it's like the primary one. So you're always going to have bigger fruit at the beginning. But it did seem like our fruit size dropped pretty quickly after that, and I'm not sure exactly what all that was. If that was partially because we were so crazy busy, maybe we didn't get things shut down quickly enough.
Maybe some greener berries got picked.
Picking them a little bit smaller and greener. But I think, it's overall, I had trouble for a while feeling like I was getting things, the beds wet enough, partially with how, on a number of factors that I won't get into. But so
some things you can hopefully tweak for next year.
Maybe with better bed making, bed making, like as in the strawberry bed.
Yeah.
And so forth. So
well, if you'd make your bed every day better.
That would probably make my life go better too, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So, overall though, I mean, what can you say? I mean, we did the best we could. A lot of happy people. I wished that our berry size in the pick your own patch was bigger and a little heavier picking at times. The funny thing is, so here we are fairly late in our season. We're not over by any stretch. I mean, we still got a week or two, but the crowds have slowed down just a little bit. The picking has actually in some ways gotten better.
Fewer people. And, more berries to go across
yesterday, there were a lot of berries that came out of that field, and heaping buckets. You could see them coming in and so forth. So that's good.
The plants are a little bushier at this end of the season, so they're finding them up underneath the plants. But we saw a bunch coming out of the patch yesterday, and should be another week and a half or so of
probably.
As we usually say, the picking will be getting more scattered, but still good berries
like
out there.
Always the people that know what they're doing can go out there and find decent berries no matter what. There was a guy the other evening, and he said, he was watching our posts since we were closing early and different things, and he was like, whoa, he didn't know if he'd be able to find berries, and he came here and great picking. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
I think the wholesale patch where we pick has done exceptionally well. I think the berry size and yield down there has been very good.
Which the main differences there are what we manage it probably a little closer.
Well, we can pick it on a schedule, so we can pick it on a 2 to 3 day schedule. We leave berries with white tips and unripe fruit in the field because we know we're coming back in 2 days or 3 days. And you got to do that to make it worth your picker's time that you're hiring to pick. And for whatever reason, the soil in that particular field is a little bit better.
Okay.
It's more conducive to growing strawberries. So I'm
it's a little with the flatter idea. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, it is.
That help with your water issue?
Well, probably. But some of that soil type, too.
Yeah.
The soil down there retains.
I think your phone keeps buzzing. We're recording this on a Saturday morning when we're open. Just want to make sure he's not missing anything.
Yeah, it's mainly just family plans for our Memorial Day picnic, I think.
Yeah.
Strawberry shortcake for dessert, it says.
Oh, I guess we'll
enjoy that.
Yeah.
I wonder where we could get some strawberries.
Yeah. Might have to go pick your own.
Yoders Farm.
Yeah.
So we're thinking of trying a new smaller field that would hopefully mimic some of those soil conditions. And anyway, we'll be working on some of those things.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Probably not planting more plants next year.
No, in fact, I have my plant order in already. Everything was saying you got to get them in. You got to get them in. Like we're months before I normally order stuff. But everyone's saying shortages, order all your supplies, and I don't know. You don't know what to believe anymore. Yeah. But it's a weird world and a mixed up world, and so trying to get my stuff in a timely way.
At least toilet paper tends to be in stock these days.
There's some positives there, aren't there?
Yeah. Let's see.
Plant varieties.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that.
Chandlers, the workhorse. Just talked to my buddy this morning down in Virginia Beach, and he's
Roy Flanagan
saying too, Chandler is just the workhorse.
Yeah.
It's good for pick your own. Ruby June, I'm doubling the amount that I'm planting next year.
Some of those will be in the pick your own batch as well.
Yeah.
I guess we had a few this year.
Yeah, it doesn't have the sharp peak of Chandler. It's a really tasty berry. It's big. People like it. It's more open plant. People like that. But I feel like if you had a whole pick your own field of that, it would get cleaned out pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And so that doesn't work very well. So I think a mix
fewer bigger berries, is that what you're saying?
Fewer bigger.
On the plants, maybe.
Sort of, and they're more open so they can, what we just talked about with people going out and looking through the leaves and stuff, that doesn't happen as much with Ruby June, so it's a little bit more difficult to... Anyway, another one we tried this year is Merced. I really like Merced, so I'm going to plant...
Is that the one that was developed like in North Carolina or something?
No.
There was one I thought you were talking about trying.
Well, remember we had that disease issue on it last year.
Oh, was that one?
So we actually didn't plant them.
Didn't mean to bring up bad memories for you.
Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like we have anything like that going on in our field, so we're very thankful about that.
That's awesome.
Because it was a disease that could carry over in your soil and so forth for future years.
Mm-hmm.
So variety-wise, we're probably going to keep it fairly similar next year, but go up on Ruby June and Merced. And we had planted Sweet Charlies as well. We usually like to get some of those to their early 7 to 10 days before Chandlers. they don't yield as good, but they get you in the field early to get
Yeah,
berries. Up here at the store, they prime the pump.
They allow us to start saying things about strawberries 2 weeks or a week early at least.
But I don't think we get the overall yield off of those that we do some of the other varieties. So I'm going to scale those back and just plant a couple rows that we can keep up with. And then when the berries come in, they'll come in, boom, and we'll be hopefully rolling. And then, we'll see. Albion, I'll plan to plant the same amount next year as we did this year. That Albion did outstanding for us this year.
Okay.
It does not like rain.
Yeah.
And so we didn't have much, and so it's done very, very well.
How do you have any idea how you feel about the late planting dates last year's that affected us?
Yeah, I don't know what we talked about earlier in the pick your own field, maybe not yielding as well as some years. I wonder if some of that has to do with planting date, possibly. I don't know. But we were worried last fall because we knew we were late. So if you would have said, "Hey guys, don't worry, last fall you're going to have a decent year like what we've had," then we would have all taken it and been happy. So that's where we're at.
In some ways, it gives you a little, a little better feeling if something like that does happen again.
That's true. Of course, we had ideal growing conditions last fall, too. True. If it would have turned really cold in October.
This spring.
Yeah, I don't think it would have quite turned out as well as it did. So,
but it can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there again, like in farming as in life, you do the best you can with the hand you're dealt. And if you have some contingency plans, some backup plans, that's always helpful, too. So.
Yep. Well,
that's where we're at. We'll probably be picking Albions for another month, honestly.
Okay.
They're like I said, they're a California berry. The cool nights, they have loaded back up with blooms and green fruit. It's a cyclical berry, and so if the weather stays decent, we'll probably actually have wholesale picking. Wholesale picking for a while yet.
Yeah.
Pick your own patch. I can't imagine us being open beyond 2 weeks from today.
Yeah,
which would be about the 13th,
something like that,
or something in June.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, crowds always slow down after Memorial Day.
Yeah,
and we're actually starting to think about planting pumpkins here in a couple of weeks.
I guess it's about that time.
It's about that time. It'll be fall before you know it. Of course, we're making preparations for planting the corn maze here before long as well.
Yeah, sure enough.
It's the never-ending cycle.
Yep. Let's see, that's a pretty good overview, I think, of strawberries. Do you want to talk about tomatoes or anything, or some of the other stuff around the farm? I mean, honestly, there hasn't been a ton of other stuff around the farm. The tomatoes, I guess they're producing some better in the last 3 weeks or so, and
they're really starting to ripen up now. That one house that we waited for a long time to ripen is coming in well. Plants look pretty good, but we're selling a lot of tomatoes right here at the store. It seems like people are kind of learning about them and knowing that we have them, so they'll pick strawberries and then pop in and grab some tomatoes before they get home. They really like the flavor and
pretty happy with the new variety we were doing this year.
Yeah, so we're growing Torero. It's really a bushy, growthy plant, and it really makes for a lot of vine work, and I just do not like that. Mm-hmm. And it does seem to be a little more cyclical, like it'll load up, and then you'll lose a couple clusters of tomatoes, and then it'll load back up.
Okay.
So that is kind of a problem. We've tried some Taché and Friedrich, and both of them look pretty good, but the house where we are growing those, like they were late planted, and so they're growing in springtime. The Toreros, we grew them in the fall, so they went through the winter dip.
Okay.
So it's sometimes hard to compare apples to apples. a springtime tomato is just a different tomato. The days are getting constantly longer, and which is what a tomato is designed to grow in those conditions. And so I don't know what exactly we're going to do next year. My hunch is, I wonder, we may not plant a whole house full of toreros. We might try half and half of one of the ones we like the best or something like that. It seems like the others are more compact. They fit a bunch of tomatoes on a nice, manageable thing. Plant.
Not as much vine work, you're saying?
Yeah, which is, I mean, it's a consideration when...
For sure,
when I'm doing most of the vine work.
Yeah.
It's just hard to keep up. Once things get busy in the spring, it's hard to keep up with all the vine work. In fact, our one house is really hairy and has suckers going everywhere, so we need to go over there and work on that. Probably about when we wind this puppy up.
Okay, yeah.
So, otherwise, I mean, it's normal farming. We got all our row crops in, actually in good time this year.
Yeah.
So that's good. Corn and soybeans looking good. The cows are happy. We just had a calf out running around.
Yeah.
Got it back in. It's always exciting when you have people on the farm and animals that are running around, or an animal.
Especially when it's close to the picayune patch. It's not a good recipe for...
Having free-ranging animals in the strawberry field is not a good
free-ranging animals in general. At least calves and cows aren't that great.
And deer. We don't like deer free-ranging in our strawberry field, too. So.
Yeah. Very good. Well,
we'll probably give you a final wrap-up of strawberry season as we move on into pumpkin planting. And who knows, or maybe we'll wait 2 months to record another podcast. But
who knows?
Get your plants ordered if you're growing strawberries.
Yeah.
That's what they tell me.
That's what they say. Very good. Well, hope you have a good weekend. Thank you all for listening, and we'll be back at some point. Maybe in a couple of weeks.
Stay positive. Keep focused. Work hard. It'll pay off, boys and girls.
Will it?
Not necessarily.
We hope so. All right. Take care, everyone. See ya.